Welcome back to the Inside Out Shift, the podcast where we talk about the identity shifts and mindset breakthroughs that help women build businesses that work and feel good. And I'm your host, Evgenia Baikova, a business mindset strategist helping women who've left traditional careers or 9 to 5 jobs rebuild confidence, structure, and bring that structure to the business and build it around their strengths and step fully into their next chapter as leaders. This podcast is for the women who walked away from structure but not from ambition and is now building something that feels like hers. And today's guest is someone who embodies quiet leadership in the most powerful way. Louella Zarcilla is a researcher by heart and strategist by nature and the CEO of LZ Cybersecurity and Technologies Corporation based in the Philippines. What started as a research paper turned into a mission and a tech company. Her story is all about courage, vision, and leading in her own way. And let's dive in. Louella, welcome.
Oh, hi everyone. Thank you, Evgenia, for the introduction.
Your story is so unique. Can you start by telling us what LZ Cybersecurity does and what led you to build this company, even though you never planned to be CEO?
Yeah, so that is really an interesting story because everyone is asking about how does the company started, and you as someone who loves to go behind the scene being a CEO of a tech company, which is very, very interesting now. So let's just go back a little bit of the history of the company. So LC Cybersecurity started during pandemic 15 days before the lockdown. And it's really, really interesting. However, our research in terms of cybersecurity and even my team are been diving in or delving in into cybersecurity, which is not yet a popular term way back before, because before it's information security and let's just say ethical hacking. So they've been in they are been in the industry since high school and college. That is the truth. And our company, LC Cybersecurity, emerged due to a fact that I created a research paper during my graduate study days for Masters in Foreign Service. And it has a title of The New Identity of Hacking in the Division of Forms, the implication to the national and international security. So it started there with the purpose of me understanding about their misinterpretation of the industry itself. Because when I'm having the research paper along the way before LC Cybersecurity was being birthed, uh, my so- the my team and even the people that I interviewed on my thesis or dissertation mentioned this, and it breaks me.
Mm-hmm.
We have the intellect, we have the capacity to help. Unfortunately, we are misjudged many, many times. So it became, it gave me the spark to understand more about the sector and to understand more, even me, how can I help you be a voice for the other sector as well, and how important your intellectual capacity, your skill set in the future sector of not just in our country, but it's going worldwide. So that's really the purpose of LC Cybersecurity. It started from a simple curiosity about what's going on. We call it a nest. And then I write the paper and then argue it with different sectors and leaders. And then after 9 years of doing the research, LC Cybersecurity was born. So
Yeah.
that's the summary of how it was created or how it has started.
Yeah. And that's a wonderful, absolutely amazing transformation or evolution, you name it. And you said something I hear from so many women that you preferred staying behind the scenes. What shifted for you and what gave you the courage to start sharing your story and showing your face publicly?
Yes, thank you. Uh, because when I saw the cybersecurity realm in reality, there's one thing that I learned that there's lacking in the community in which I have the strength. And though I don't like to be known publicly, but because of the position, it's really impossible to just, uh, go back. Is that we don't have someone who will share our story to give us the voice, not in a form of the sector itself, but the voice to other sector that we are here to help as well. We are here to identify, to help you with your configuration. We are here to truly help you in terms of IT infrastructure.
Mhm.
And that's one of the reasons why I want to show my face at the moment. Every time that I have a discussion with cybersecurity experts worldwide, there's one cry that they want to share, and I want to voice it out. And
Mhm.
as someone who loves to, to do the research, I really love it. It's really my realm. I want to share it because when I dive into cybersecurity, it's just like my professor way back before in grad school mentioned this. If you dive into qualitative research, there's no getting out.
Oh,
And I
yes.
think it's a fact at the moment because when I started it, I fell in love with the sector to the point that what will be the challenge? How can I help the sector itself? How can I help not just the client but other organization in terms of this popular term
Mhm.
cybersecurity? Because it's so hype when the COVID-19 hit the market with the sector that we are in, but in reality, they are already there.
Yeah.
They are not just acknowledged. So
Mhm.
I want to give voice to the sector that we have at the moment, that we're here. We're here
Mhm.
to assist. We're here to help. Don't judge us that much because you're afraid of us. Don't.
Mhm, 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 mhm. Yeah, and we will be talking about cybersecurity, what it means and what's included and other things. But now I want you to ask the following question, because well, I know that you are in business for 6 years, which is not a small, like small feat, right? And especially in male-dominated industry like tech. What's been the biggest mindset shift that's helped you grow in both as a leader and as an entrepreneur?
This one really do speaks because you are correct. It's a male dominant industry. You
Mm-hmm.
are correct that majority of it are men leaders. It is for me as a woman, what I learned from them in terms of being a man and a woman in leadership and business is this. You don't let your emotion distract you from deciding right.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. And I know that we women, we have a lot of things going on in our heart and our brain and our mind, right? But
Yes.
sometimes they are correct. When we decide something for the sake of many and for us to serve with excellence, we need to decide with not just emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Emotions are there to assist us, but it doesn't mean it's always correct. So we use the decision making in a proper way, like what are the facts? How can we decide properly for this matter? Because in any decision that I learned in the business for 6 years is this: decision has always a price. There's always a price to pay when you decide. Whether that's yes or no, you pay for something.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to
Yes.
be ready to pay, to willingly pay it or pay the
Mm-hmm.
price. So that's what I learned. And that's the biggest mindset shift. I thought that as a woman, I can't be an entrepreneur. But with the support system that I have, I'm making it. And little, each day I'm learning new things from different
Mm-hmm.
culture and different individuals that I met along the way. Women or men, no gender bias. So,
Yeah, yeah, and I believe in that too. Like it's a constant learning, right? You cannot stop. And I also believe that, that your business can grow as much as you do, right? So,
yes.
yeah, and this is, and thank you for sharing that. And another thing that actually stuck with me when we had our first conversation, you told me that it's important to learn when to let go. So, can you share what that means to you and how it's helped you make better decisions?
hmm Learn when to let go when when there is something better. So in my scenario, I experienced a lot of decision making, not just when I became an entrepreneur, but I know all of us, Evgenia and everyone who's listening, we've been into the situation when we need to decide. And
Oh, yeah.
sometimes we cling into to that, to that decision or to that, yes, to that choice because this is so comfortable. I'm so happy with it. But sometimes the happiness is ruining you. we cling into something that we thought is right for us, but eventually we are losing ourselves along the way. So sometimes learning when to let go is only the key for you to jump into the other scenario or another layer of your growth.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
it's not an easy decision to make for you to let go. It's really not. And it's a big sacrifice. So that's how I learned that learning when to let go really is just like learning when to let go of the tension, learning when to let go of something that you can control, and pivot fast
Mhm.
on the other decision or other options that you have. Because I know that in our lives, whether we are entrepreneur or a leader in our own sector or personal
Mhm.
decision, pivoting fast is really one of the great solution that we can. Unfortunately, pivoting means you need to adjust fast too. So
Yes.
letting go is part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was just about to say that pivoting fast is so connected to letting go, right? So that you are not stuck somewhere in the middle, or even you are stuck in your comfort zone, which, well, we all of us, we know that staying there, it's not about growing, right?
Yeah.
We also were talking about delaying self gratification and sacrificing for the bigger vision. What has that looked like for you in your real life, and how do you stay focused when the journey feels slow or uncertain?
Yeah. Okay, for self-delaying gratification, it's part of the letting go and sacrifices scenario
Hmm.
that we
Yeah.
that we face as not just leaders but human. So if we have a goal or a mission or even the vision that we have, there's, as I mentioned a while ago, decisions has a price to pay.
Hmm.
And one thing about it is delaying what you want and just prioritizing what you need.
Mm.
So so that's it for you. If you have a bigger vision, there are things that you need to sacrifice for you to get that vision. And yes, by that part, on that method or process, you are delaying something that you want. I want to go to a vacation, but you need to prioritize your team. I
Hmm.
want to fly to Hawaii, but that fund I can raise more sales for the team, for the project. I want to go somewhere, but that money I can make another one for the business. So that's the basic of delaying self gratification in business, but delaying self gratification for your personal needs,
Hmm.
that's more dragging and hectic. It's just like there are situations in my life that I need to choose scholarship in Europe or me bumping into startup. It's hard.
It's hard. And it's again, it's about decision making, right? And this is the art. And also, this is about you being mindful and intentional about your decisions. And yeah, I don't, sometimes it is tough to make a decision. And sometimes we are making the decision not to make a decision. That's also a decision. And also, I know that you are a leader, and this is also about making decisions, which is sometimes even harder to make decisions for, not for yourself, but for others, for your team, for example. And I'm just wondering, the leadership piece. What has leadership taught you about trust, delegation, decision making, or building something bigger than yourself?
It's I'm leaning to the latter. It's building something bigger than myself.
Hmm.
Because in that perspective, there's also the part of you holding back your skill set and let your team do the move. Let your team decide. It's
Hmm.
not easy. If you know what you're doing and then you have the team, delegation is the hardest part.
Yes, it
Because in
is.
delegation, you trust. And
Hmm.
sometimes in trust, you know that there's a 100% chance of error. And
Hmm.
as someone who's leading, you also need to have the backup plan. What if something happened? What will you do?
Hmm.
So, but having the vision of building something more about the vision or yourself is really one of the rewarding feeling I ever had for 6 years. Seeing your team member being better than you, 10 times better than you, that's really amazing. I know it's kind of weird, but I don't know. It's
Yes.
like uplifting others when I
Hmm.
saw potential is really what I want to do too.
Yeah.
That's the reason maybe I'm in this sector because they are not being heard. I want them to be better and better, not just intellectually, but emotionally speaking. Like, yes, you have a higher IQ because in this sector, everyone is smart.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows how to think. Everyone knows what to do. Everyone knows how to argue and debate. But sometimes the role of a leader is to let them fail so that they understand that rejection, failure is part of the growing process.
Yes.
And that
Yeah.
is tough.
Mm-hmm.
So for
Mm-hmm.
me, leaning on the latter, bri- uh, building something that is bigger for myself.
Yeah, and that's wonderful. And that feelings they are familiar to me. So I used to lead a team, and that was so wonderful to see them growing and getting new roles in neighboring divisions, or even leaving the organization but getting higher positions. That was priceless, absolutely. And you also mentioned that they are smart working in this industry. So let's talk a little bit about cybersecurity. So this word still feels intimidating and overwhelming. So what's your bigger mission, and how you are helping people feel more confident and less afraid of it?
It's really scary. It is really scary. Whenever there's someone who will inquire or a partner, they're so scared because in reality, it is scary. However, the reason why it's scary, the truth, it's because we are not aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
If only the audience or everyone or majority of us, not just in the business, but in the government or NGOs are aware, or even the consumer, we're not gonna be afraid that much. For something for us to be brave, you just need to understand why you should be brave. And in our sector, cybersecurity, what we can do to help to lessen the fear is truly to let them understand the importance of it. Because when you want something, because it's always about preventive measure. So cybersecurity is a preventive measure. So when someone wants to fix a system, of course, there is assessment means audit. Oh, can you hear my dog? I'm so sorry. So, so that is it's preventive measure. It's proactive. That's the reason why we are here to really explain it to them that it should be proactive. Do you want your system to have a breach and loss a lot than for you to prevent something that will possibly happen? So in terms of finance, in terms of business, that's more expensive. That is the expense will triple 10 times. But if
Mm-hmm.
we prevent something, which is what's going on today, it's better. However, in Asia, there's this saying, which is I wanna break that generational curse of saying is that if it's not broken, you don't fix it. But in reality, in technology, it will not work because the updates, the upgrade, the technology is getting faster and faster. And that saying will not work in this sector. However, preventive is better than cure. So that is really the essence of cybersecurity. We prevent something for us not to fix it with more expense.
Yeah. And well, it seems like before you start working with your clients, or even, with your prospective leads, you have to educate them, right? Because, well, again, cybersecurity thing and what's included into that and why we need that is not that clear for so many people. How do you do that?
First, in our market as well, compared to the United States of America and compared to European Union, of course you are more advanced, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in our sector, especially in the ASEAN or in our country ASEAN, the ASEAN region, we're still understanding things. We're still developing policies and laws. But one of the solution for this is to truly give awareness to the organizations and businesses and even the public sector about this what's going on. Because cybersecurity, I would like to correct, this a misinterpreted industry at the very beginning. Because
Mm-hmm.
everyone thought that cybersecurity is 100% IT. It's not. I, I'm gonna I'm gonna break that one because it's truly 100% not. Cybersecurity is more than IT. Cybersecurity is actually a multidisciplinary sector which connects different form of regulatory body as well. So it has technology, It has IT, information technology. It has operational technology.
Mhm.
There's this new term that I learned from science. We also have the physical tech something,
Ooh. Ooh.
physical tech together.
Mhm.
So security, it's evolving every day.
Mhm.
Adding
Mhm.
AI, it's a
Yes.
different game. Adding
Yeah.
AI, it's a different game. So that's really cybersecurity. And there's a lot of wheels in the
Mhm.
community of cybersecurity. So, but I just want to point out that cybersecurity is not 100% IT. We have policies, we have frameworks, we
Mhm.
have audit, we have compliance, regulatory body, PCIDSS, HIPAA. That's also
Mhm.
part.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
ISO 27001, that's also
Mhm.
part. So
Yes.
so there's a lot of things going on in the
Mhm.
sector. That's why I called it multidisciplinary.
Yeah. And thank you for breaking down that a little bit for us so that we can understand what are the parts, what are the essential parts of cybersecurity. Because, yeah, I believe that many people think that, well, this is purely IT thing, which is not. And you just touched based on AI. So, how do you think entrepreneurs can approach it with confidence instead of fear?
Another fear thing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's scary. It's a scary word when you don't know
Uh-huh.
what's going on. It's a scary situation when you don't know what will you do as a business leader, especially if you came from a traditional perspective of business, because we have now the traditional and now we're proceeding to modern and now proceeding to digital transformation. It's just that another thing is artificial intelligence. One thing that I would like to point out, because this is a big debate, will artificial intelligence replace us humans?
Hmm.
It's actually not. Actually, artificial intelligence is there to truly guide and assist. It's just that they gather data faster because we are the one who's feeding the data for artificial intelligence. We're
Yeah.
using chat GPT, but have you read the terms and conditions?
That's
You,
a good
you, you
point.
tick you tick the box, but
Hmm.
then have you read about it? Or
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm integrating a new AI form that my co-founder developed. Okay, that's really good. It's a good start. However, how's the policy? How's the preventive measure? What are the
Hmm.
pros and cons in using it? The other integration part. So if we only know as a business leader, we can't be certain because technology is too fast. But at least we know that in our organization, for example, our framework is this. We use artificial intelligence only for this marketing,
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
this sales, for example, CIM, for example, marketing paraphernalia making. However, we don't use AI if we are coding.
Hmm.
There are policies like that. So in your own company, you can do that. It's kind of scary if you don't know, but if
Hmm.
you know at some point, you will understand that it is helpful because it's faster.
Hmm.
You can gather a lot, but it doesn't mean that the data that you can gather from AI are always correct.
Yes, accurate.
It's
Yes,
not
yeah, yeah,
100%.
100%. Hmm. Hmm.
Yes, that's the reason why, yes, artificial intelligence is already here and it
Hmm.
will evolve and evolve.
Yes.
However,
Hmm.
the critical thinking, the imagination, the creativity, those are the things that AI can get from a human. I
Hmm.
mean, these emotions that we have, the thing that there's a data, we interpret it because interpretation is different from
Yep.
person to person.
Yep.
So for us to lessen the fear, we just need to know. We don't
Yeah.
need to be an expert for us to know. We just need to
Mhm.
be aware.
And I like that you were saying that we can create kind of SOPs in our organization so that we have some boundaries, but also, it's good to learn more about AI, its capability and some restrictions and accuracy of data that will help you not to experience that fear and thinking, oh, is it right or is it wrong, right? So that you can check that information that AI is giving you, and I know that many women are using that, and that help to be more efficient. It help you to speed up the process. And for example, those who are creative like myself, I can, throw ideas into it and it will give me the structure. Because sometimes when you got creative, you are so overwhelmed with all the ideas, but well, how to structure that, how to create a kind of a framework so that it puts in a logical way, that helps a lot. And I would agree
Yeah.
that it's evolving so fast. Like you can create not just content or information. Now you can create videos, you can write music, you can do whatever you want to, and we don't know what will be available for us tomorrow, right?
Yes. And you can even program now via AI. We called it code vibing.
Hmm.
So you sometimes you can create your own website and app by using AI, and
Oh,
that is really good. But also at some point that is scary.
yeah.
There's always a
Yeah.
pros and cons on how to use a
Hmm.
tool.
Hmm. Hmm.
Even though it's not AI, when we use a tool that will integrate into our business in any form of layer, we need to know the the pros and cons and the terms and conditions and the limitations of it
Yes.
before we
Yeah.
can proceed. So that's the
Hmm.
reason why I mentioned a while ago. If only we will read the terms and condition. I know it's long, but we're
Oh,
getting
yeah.
lazy and gonna tick the box.
Yeah, but that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. We have to read that thing, of course. Luella, thank you for that. And finally, for the women listening and who are scared when we talk about so many fears today, scared to show up or take the next step, what's one piece of advice you would share to help them move forward?
It's so scary if you don't know where you will be headed. That's normal. That's validated. But it is more scarier if you don't try.
Oh, yes. I would agree with that. I
Yeah,
would agree with that.
that's what I learned along the way with with my whole life as a woman because as I mentioned, I didn't expect that I'll be the CEO or the one who will spearheading a
Hmm.
corporation. I'm always the support. But sometimes being a CEO is scary too. Yes and no's will come from you. And all those decisions has result and price to pay.
Hmm.
And all we need to do at some point, even though you're not a CEO or you're a tech leader or you're a business developer leader, whatever form of leader you are, there's always a fear to move forward. But for us to balance or ride a bike, sometimes you just need to move forward and pedal the bike, right? For you to
Yeah.
move. Just
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
also the life. So there you will not lose a lot actually when you try something. For there's my co-founder just mentioned this week. If someone will not be there, if someone will not believe in you, what's the listing that will happen to you? It's just like you're just getting rejection.
Hmm.
And how we handle rejection is really an evidence of how mature we are too.
Yeah.
Rejections are good. No's are good. Because with these rejection and no's, the proper door or the right door will open for you.
Hmm.
It's just a rerouting. So just move forward. Take a leap when you're scared because that's the perfect time to try.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, thank you. Like, well, do it scared. Anyway.
You can
Well,
shout, you can cry, but just move forward.
yeah. Well, and I think that if you do that, you will enjoy the moment after, right? So that you had the power and you, by the way, let it go. Let go of fear and make that step. Well, thank you so much
Mm-hmm.
for sharing your story and not just the strategic part of your work. We talk about real emotions and leadership behind it. And you reminded us that leadership doesn't require being the loudest in the room, right?
Yes.
And that takes emotional intelligence and inner clarity and the courage to keep going and to let it go again. And well, we know that sometimes it's hard, but well, this is the part of the journey, right? And to everyone listening, if you are a woman who's left behind a traditional career and is building something that finally feels like you, I see you. and you are not behind. You are building something really brave. And if you want to stay in touch, you can connect with Louella on LinkedIn and follow her work at LZ Cybersecurity and Technologies Corporation. We will share all the links. And you can find me on Instagram and LinkedIn, or visit my website, fcc.coach. And again, if this episode resonated, please send it to a friend. And don't forget to follow, rate, and review the podcast because it helps more brave women find these conversations. Thanks again for tuning in to the Inside Out Shift. Stay grounded, stay bold, and keep leading from the inside out. Bye.